Hello and welcome to our 6th Gap 2025. As always, this is an amazing experience. This time I'm going to start the video with a different approach. This time I'm going to start with little things that we did through the weekend because I want to point that 6th Gap is kind of like an event that you can use it for multiple purpose. If you're planning in going and you haven't done 6 Gap or 3 Gaps in Dahlonega, Georgia, you can do it in different ways. One way could be train really hard to accomplish your goals, to race against your previous time, or to make your first time the best time ever, or come and enjoy, have a nice vacation with friends and family, and also do a good time on the hills. Especially people from Florida, we have no hills, so this is more than an adventure. This is for us. This is amazing, and we do it pretty much every year we can, and no regrets. So this is our 6th Gap 2025. This year is my 17th times doing 6 Gap out of 35, I believe 37 that they have been doing it. We decide to make 100 miles this time, which is the 6 Gaps, and Ralph decided to go and do the 60 miles, which is the 3 Gaps. We didn't finish. So out of my 17 times, this is the second time that I don't finish this Gap, and it has been because of mechanical issues the first time, and this time because we have the misfortune that Nani crashed on mile 48. We were doing an amazing time. By the way, if you're looking at the video, the 6 Gap is going to start at minute 10 with 30 seconds. That's when the video from the 6 Gap already starting. So if you want to fast forward, or if you want to keep looking at our experience around, we came on Thursday before the weekend of the 6 Gap of the event. We did a ton of things. We went to different places. We even went to Tennessee because the cabin that we rent was pretty close to Tennessee, so we even went to Tennessee for lunch and back from Georgia. Amazing to see that line that tells you that from that line you are either in Tennessee or you are in Georgia. So for me, it was a really good experience to do hills and downhills before the event. On getting back to what I was saying, yeah, Nani, she crashed. There was a corner at mile 48. I don't know if any of you guys watching the video were doing 6 Gap after doing hopping, which is the most challenging gap out of the 6. And going to gap number 3, there was a gravel on a corner where there was a police staying there and allowing us to pass and stopping the traffic. So for us, it was really good to just keep going in that corner. When we went through that corner, there was gravel that you were barely able to see, and that's where Nani, we were turning and Nani's front wheel washed away from her, and then she fell. She broke the helmet, a lot of road rash, and there was a lot of stuff. Her new shoes that you don't now she's wearing in this video that you're looking at, the all black shoes that she has, and she has a new torch specialized. That was the third time that she used it, and she scratched it all over. And but luckily she's good. It was just road rash and a couple of pain here and there. But when we have that incident, we asked the police officer that was in the corner, because there was another person that was on the ground, and the police officer told us that, oh yeah, there has been 4 people that crashed here already. And that get me so aggravated and mad. I'm like, what are you doing to fix this problem? And he said, no, I completely understand. He was just there to control the traffic and let us pass safely. But if you already see 4 people crashing in one corner, you should be aware that something's happening in that corner. So some preventions should be taken. So what he did after Nani crash, and we asked him like what was his idea, and I told him, I said, put a cone, put something in that gravel so people can go around. So he moved his patrol car on top of the gravel. So at that point, everyone that came after that, they saw the patrol car almost in the middle of the road, and it was just on top of that loose gravel in the corner. So people have to slow down even more. We took that corner. It was slightly down. It was not a downhill, but you were able to get momentum out of it. We took the corner around 30 miles an hour. And I was pretty painful for Nani. The person that was in the ground trying to recover from his crash, he took the corner. He says I was around 27, 28 miles an hour. He really damaged one of his fingers, and the police officer gave him some bandage. So we all have to come back in a car. So we couldn't continue, even though Nani wants to finish it with a broken helmet and a lot of bruises and blood and here and there. It was not the best scenario, and it's always another time. It's better to be safe and be able to. Ralph, he also got a mechanical. So for us, the actually the event was not the best that we had, because we all came back without finish it. But at the same time, we spent a really quality time on it. And I also want to point that the video that started at 10, you're gonna see, if you were in that six gap and you were in the front group, not there was a couple of guys that smashed it. This year the weather was perfect, and even the guy that got the record from previously, he was able to take like 20 minutes out of his previous record. So now I think the record is 4 hours and 38, which is insane. And it's a guy from Florida, the one that has it, which is even more insane than someone that doesn't have any heels and goes twice or a little more to Georgia to practice, is able to manage that time, 103 miles in 4 hours, and with 11,000 feet of elevation, 4 hours and 38 minutes. That's insane. So we're getting to the point that the 6 gaps start in this video, and it's gonna be pretty much the first hour, all the way from the start line to when we start the first hill. So if you were part of the 6 gap, not the 3 gap, and you were on the 6 hours or more, you probably see yourself in this video. So keep watching, and you're gonna see we passed a lot of people. We were trying to do less than 6 hours. Last year we did 6 hours, and we were aiming to do, and we were doing pretty good time. We didn't make it, but based on the time that we have, at the time that we have that Nani has that incident, we were pretty much sure that we were making under 6 hours. But who knows, maybe next year. So I'm gonna leave you with the starting of the sixth gap all the way to the first gap, which is Neil. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. And this is something different that I did on this one, not going straight to the race or the ride, and put a little thing behind the scenes. And because if you planning to go to Siscap, I would recommend you to make it like a more like a family and friend trips, and you're gonna enjoy it more than if you just go the day before and try to accomplish the event and come back, especially if you live in Florida, which would take you more than 10 hours to make it there. So I hope that you guys enjoying, and if you were there, I hope you guys enjoying your weekend as Dahlonega, Georgia, and see you in the next one. Thank you for watching the videos.